How do you start a conversation with someone and get them to open up to you without seeming weird or random? I feel your pain. That's happened to me. Slightly different scenario, but I'll address both. When I'm standing in line, a long line, I start conversations with strangers just to pass the time. And what works, not all the time, but if you complain and you commiserate with people. Now, I'm just trying to start conversations to pass the time to get to the checkout line, but you're actually wanting to get to know someone. There's some similarities here, and I'll explain. What I'll say sometimes is if I'm in this long line at the grocery store, say, I will tell the person next to me, if they seem receptive, if they're not like engaged in a text or call, of course, but if they, they look friendly and they look like they're receptive to talking to someone, I might say something like, this line is insane. It's like the day before Thanksgiving every day here during the high season in Florida. And then they might say, I know, I've been to such and such place. I can't go after 11 a.m. And we go on, and it feels really great to vent. And then I might ask them, where are you from? And they might say, and then I'll say where I'm from. And by the time we get to the checkout counter, we've had a great conversation. I never see these people again, but it makes the time go by. But other times I will start my whole thing like, oh my gosh, this line is so long. And somebody will look at me like, okay. And they will look at me like I'm crazy and stop talking. And I stop talking. Well, I don't need any more hints. Or sometimes they might say something just to be polite, and then they purposely engaged in their phone, so I don't say anything else. And I don't. So you just have to read their body language. I think if you're at a party, or you're at some kind of a social event, or you're at your place of work, or you're at somewhere like the gym or wherever, you see someone every day, and you start slowly talking to them and they feel like they get to know you more because they see you all the time, they're gonna be receptive to you. They're not gonna be like, oh, that stranger, I want nothing to do with them. But follow the cues a little bit more. What I mean is, say something to them like, oh my gosh, the gym, it's like I can't get on any of the equipment. I don't know what's going on. I usually come at this time, something must be happening. And they're like, oh yeah, this is going on, or that's going on, or there's a convention in town, I don't know, whatever. And then you say something, and then if they say something back, you keep the conversation going, of course. And then you let it go when it starts to die out, and then you talk to them again the next time, and you say something more. But if they say something back politely, but then they say, and then they, are moving on, or they start to talk to somebody else, or again, they're on their phone, then don't approach them again. But you just follow the rules. Wait for them to say something, and then you say something, and they say something. I know, and you're like, oh. But if it's new, you have to do that. If it's somebody you know really well, you don't. But above all, don't be afraid to talk to somebody, because so what, they shoot you down. They look at you like, what are you doing talking to me? So what? You don't want them in your life anyway. What I'm saying is, try.